we are in the middle of a crazy heat dome situation going on. It's like 90 something, super humid and just super hot. This week also the Rivian R2 came out and is actually for sale, or at least the performance launch edition is for sale. And it got me thinking a lot about what would I do if I didn't have the 4Runner, or the 4Runner got totaled, something like that. What would I do? Would I even consider the Rivian R2? And there's a lot to think about with that. So I test drove the Rivian R1S a while back. It was just a very, very cool experience. I really liked how it handled the acceleration, the regenerative braking. I've never really driven an electric vehicle that much before. I did drive a Tesla once, but the Rivian is just unlike anything else, especially coming from a 4Runner, just very, very different. But I very quickly liked it. The problem with the R1S is the cost, even used ones. Fairly expensive as compared to the 4Runner. But now that the R2 has come out and reached costs very similar to a new 4Runner, it really made me revisit the idea of, would the Rivian be a valid competitor to the 4Runner in my specific use case scenario? When you start going through the stats of an R2 as compared to the 4Runner, you quickly learn that the 4Runner has better stats. So when you're talking about towing capacity, the 4Runner is around 6,000 pounds. The R2 is around 4,400 pounds. The payload capacity is still going to be higher in the 4Runner than it is the R2. Cargo capacity, although with the Rivian you do have that front trunk, or the frunk, that does add some extra cargo capacity. And then there's the range. The range is probably one of the biggest factors that I have to consider. Driving in Minnesota, it easily gets very, very cold in the winter, and you lose automatically 20 to 30% of range in that cold weather. And I like to be able to drive and turn on the heat. I don't want to have to worry about that. I have friends with electric vehicles that are afraid to turn on their heat in bitter cold because they don't want to lose range. That's crazy to me. Not only that, is ideally you keep your battery charged between 20 and 80%, and so automatically that reduces your range. Now if you're cutting an extra 20 to 30% off of that, you become very limited with actually usable miles. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to think about that. With a 4Runner, fully gas up, non-hybrid version even, you can easily get 400 plus miles of range in bitter cold or extreme hot weather. You just don't even have to worry about it. And so that is a huge factor where I actually would not consider the R2 as a replacement for the 4Runner. Even though the R2 also has a roll down rear window, that's not enough to push me towards the R2 and not the 4Runner. Single most important factor why I would not consider an R2 as opposed to the 4Runner, and that is reliability. Even though I've seen the videos, I've listened to the engineers' presentations on the R2, and I think it's an incredible work of art. The 4Runner has been around forever. In fact, the 5th gen 4Runner has been around for well over a decade. It has proven reliability. This 4Runner sits outside in the heat, in the bitter cold, and it always starts, it always runs. Nothing is wrong with it. And I can rely on this vehicle in blizzards or extreme heat. I can rely on it to start and to get me where I need to go, regardless of the environmental situations. I just don't have to worry about that. Especially when I have it lifted to get up over heavy snowbanks, when I have larger tires, good tires, and some Under Armour protection, and this front bumper, extra lighting. I have it all situated where it can get me to where I need to go very, very reliably. And so that takes a huge component of stress just away from everything. Maybe in several years, the R2 will have more proven reliability. I mean, it just came out, even though Rivian's been around for a while. The R2 is a newly engineered vehicle. Even though it looks very similar to the R1, it just doesn't have that proven reliability yet. And so the 4Runner wins for reliability. That brings us to the third vehicle that I haven't mentioned yet, partially because it's not even out and available yet, but that is the Scout. The Scout Traveler specifically, which is similar to the 4Runner, but the Harvester edition. So the Harvester is that extended range gas engine that helps supply power and recharges the battery to the main platform. Now you do get plenty of EV range. I think it's like 150 miles, something like that. But when the generator kicks in, that brings you up to over 500 miles, which beats out the 4Runner and beats out the R2. Also, the payload, the expected payload, is way more in the Scout compared to the 4Runner and the Rivian. It can also tow maybe 5,000 pounds, which is plenty for a decent sized trailer or camper. So the Scout is something I'm really looking forward to. I think that it strikes maybe a healthy balance between a pure EV like the R2 or pure gas. I think there's a lot of pros for the Scout. That will be yet to be seen, but I'm very optimistic for that Scout. So who knows, maybe in several years, that Scout might be something I'll look into further. But going back to reliability, it's still a new company and a new brand and a new design. And so that reliability isn't going to be there, not nearly like the 4Runner. So now we go back to my original question of what would I do if this vehicle got totaled for some reason? What would I go out and get? There's two things that I would consider. Both of them are 4Runners. One would be to just find another used 4Runner. In fact, that's probably what I would do. I would probably find an older, maybe 2018 to 2019 4Runner, TRD off-road, non-premium, and I would put a lift kit in it. I would add some armor, I would add some lights, I would kind of do the same thing. That, I think, is going to be the best value for your money. That has such proven reliability, and even though the depreciation isn't a massive amount, it still is a good amount. And so I think a used 5th gen 4Runner is probably the way that I would go, similar to this one. What would I choose if I had to get a brand new 4Runner? I think the best value would be the TRD off-road, non-premium, non-hybrid. That's going to be one of the least expensive models that still gets you a good payload, good towing capacity, the locking differential, the multi-terrain select, and A-track. You're not going to get the cameras, but that's okay. You can easily add the anytime front view camera. That's pretty easy to add. In fact, I made a video on that if you're interested in seeing that. So you can very easily get your own aftermarket camera situation. I wouldn't get the hybrid partially because the added cost. And even though it does give you 2,400 watts in the rear, you could just as easily get a battery portable generator and take that around with you to power a fridge or any other kitchen supplies that you might need, lighting, things like that in the rear. The other biggest reason why I would not get the hybrid is that it reduces the rear cargo capacity by like 3 inches or something on the bottom, which I think is just so ridiculous. I don't know why that design is like that. I just don't know why. So that wraps up this video. I hope you liked it. My thoughts on the R2 versus the 4Runner and even a little bit of the Scout in there. Very, very cool vehicles. All of them are very cool. You know, if I could have all of them, I would. But this is reality. And if I had only had to pick one, it would be the 4Runner. That's the perfect balance of all of what I need for right now. Maybe someday some of the others, but right now it's the 4Runner all the way. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Go ahead and leave a comment in the description below. What vehicle would you choose? And are you interested in the R2? Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. Bye.